Good morning. Thank you for traveling with me this week. So far, we've been to New Jersey, we've been camping, and now we're at the beach. Now, for today's activity, we're really going to need our imaginations because our senses and our imagination will be totally needed for this one. And again, parents, this is a way that you can make the most of what we have going on and just do everything from the comforts of your own home. So if you're with me right now, if you would just close your eyes for a few seconds and just really allow yourself to go to the beach. What do you see? What types of things are you hearing? What do you feel or how do you feel at the beach? These are some of the things we're going to have to tap into today for this activity. And as I promised, this week we are looking more into things that you can do with your secondary students, but I'm also going to show you some things that you can do to adjust it down for some of those who are a little bit younger. So today we're going to be talking about literary devices. And these are things that writers use to convey meanings. And then once you understand what the meaning the writer is trying to convey, it'll help you actually understand, interpret, and analyze whatever you're reading. So we're going to be looking at three today. The first is an idiom, and it is a saying that has a different meaning than the literal phrases. And then I'm going to give you some examples of these as well, but I want to go over all of them at first. Then we have metaphor. A metaphor is a figure of speech, phrase, or sentence by which a thing is spoken of as being that which it only resembles. And last but not least for today is simile. And that is a type of metaphor in which the comparison is made using the words like or as. And all of these resources, once the video is posted in a little while, I'll upload these as well so you can have them refer back to. Now, I found some poems that'll give you an example of what each of those literary devices really is. The first one is a poem that uses idioms. I'm going to read it in its entirety first, and it's called Losing Pieces, and it's by Silverstein, Talked my head off, worked my tail off, cried my eyes out, walked my feet off, sang my heart out. So you see, there's really not much left of me. So is he talking about he really talked his head off? Of course not. What does that mean? He talked a lot. Some of you parents may have felt this way a lot, especially here recently. Worked my tail off. That means you worked extremely hard. And to those of you who are in some of our central fields, we thank you for being some of the people who are doing that right now for us. Now, the next poem I have is an example of a metaphor. It is something that resembles something else, okay? Homework. No one likes it. Homework is a bee sting on your tongue. It's the worst. Homework is dropping your ice cream cone on the sidewalk. How awful. Homework is a deflated balloon. So depressing. Let's do away with it. Homework. Now, I know all homework is not like this, but is the author, who is unknown, are they happy with getting homework or not? How do you know? Well, let's look at one of the phrases. Let's look at this one. Homework is dropping your ice cream cone on the sidewalk. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but once you get that nice ice cream cone, you are ready to enjoy it. So the last thing you want is for it to drop on the sidewalk. So that's not a happy experience. So the author of this poem is saying that homework is not a happy experience. Matter of fact, the author actually goes on to say, let's do away with it. So do you see now how understanding these literary devices can actually help you understand the feeling that the author is trying to convey? Now, the last one I have for you is about similes, and it's by Lil Pluto. Black as words on printed pages, sad like tigers locked in cages, long as thread unrolled from spools, straight like legs on wooden stools, quiet as a school at night, happy like a bird in flight, tight as fuzzy skin on peaches, white like dunes of sand on beaches, cold as scoops of frozen peas, fun like writing similes. So you can see how different things made you feel different ways as you read that. Look at this one again. Sad like tigers locked in cages. Can you see those tigers from the last time you went to the zoo, not being able free to roam around? Okay, so we can actually see that. It conjured up a memory for us, something we can easily imagine. Or anybody who has seen a bird, happy like a bird in flight. Have you seen those birds just kind of soaring around, just gliding and doing the flips and everything? So these are ways that we can just really work with words to help us to convey a meaning using those literary devices. Now, what we'll do with these today, I have a couple of follow-up activities. For our younger students, you can draw an image. It can be any type of image that you have around your house or something that if you've been going on nature walks lately, something that you collected. But remember, all nature stays at home, so we're going to be talking about your drawings. I'm sitting here at the beach, so I see a lot of seashells out here. And I really like this one. Okay, so what you would do, you were going to draw an image, and then you're going to use literary devices to write about the image you drew. So, like I said, I really like this one. What I told you before, you don't have to be a perfect artist to do this. So I did my best to try to make the image. So once you have the image, start writing down things that it reminds you of, things that makes you feel. What kind of feelings do you have to use? Is it smooth? Is it bumpy? Is it rough? These will help you when you're getting ready to use your literary devices. Now, this is my rough draft. I'm still working on it, but when looking at my shell, some of the things I started thinking was this. A different spring break was a bitter pill, but there was no need to cry over milk that was spilled. We used our imaginations to travel the world and found a treasure as precious as a pearl. My shell seems to spin around like a top, with moving swirls like a fierce tornado. It's white with hints of deep, rich brown, like the Thanksgiving gravy mixed in with potatoes. I know it's not good. I know, but it's just a way to use these literary devices to try to describe this image that I found. That's for our younger students. For our older students, we want you to choose a song that is special to you, but is appropriate for mixed audiences, which means no vulgar or offensive language, no overemphasis of violence of sexual themes. Okay? Now, I want to thank Ms. Williams for collaborating with me on the English language arts part of this lesson. This is something she actually did with her students. to get them to look at different themes in English and language arts. So what you will do is write the lyrics and then identify the literary devices and what they mean. Okay. One song that came to my mind for this was Ironic by Alanis Morissette. And she uses phrases like, it's like rain on your wedding day. It's a free ride when you've already paid. It's the good advice that you just didn't take. So I'm not going to spoil it for you. If you want to go back and look at that song, see what that it is that she's referring to. Okay. Now, another activity that you can use is a virtual trip to the U.S. Virgin Islands. Now, originally, I was planning on going to Hawaii today because, well, why not? But I couldn't find my souvenir t-shirt. So I could find my souvenir t-shirt for the U.S. Virgin Islands. So I started looking up things about the Virgin Islands, and there are virtual field trips online. If you just take time to Google those, you can find that information. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to be uploading these things for you, and I would love to see some of the things you all do to use your literary devices. Feel free to upload those under the post that will be put up in just a little while, or also just send it to me. You can inbox me on Facebook, or you can also send it to my email address, teacherfoster@gmail.com. By covering this lesson, you've integrated a lot of different skills. Now, parents, I know it's an adjustment right now, having to adjust for multiple ages and also getting in a lot of subjects. But if you're following everything from this particular lesson, you will have covered science when you're using your senses and your observation skills. Of course, you're using English language arts for your writing and your literary devices. You're also getting in art if you do the drawing activity, and even the older students can do that as well. The music, as you explore and listen to the different songs to try to figure out which ones have the literary devices in them. And then if you take the virtual field trip, you're also getting in social studies. So you have incorporated and integrated a lot in a short amount of time. As always, I am so happy to do my part to help in fostering the future. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And I hope you're able to join me tomorrow when we take a trip to an amusement park. Because, why not? Wishing you the very best. Stay safe, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.